So we previously looked at some tool sets available for creating trenches inside of Magnet Office. I want to look at another set. In this example, I received a CAD file that has the surface data for existing, proposed, some of the building outline, but it doesn't give me the utilities. That data is still in the PDF for whatever reason. So what I want to do is I want to align the PDF to this, extract the information, and then build the trench data. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and insert the PDF. I don't want everything. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to pull in just what I need. In this particular case, I need the building. I'm going to pull some of the curb, property line, the sidewalk, and then what I want are the proposed water lines. Okay, so we're going to focus on this particular line here. Okay, while I'm doing it, just because I may need it, let's bring in the sanitary and storm sewer. This will be proposed utility, and I'm going to do matching points. So I'm going to match the PDF to the CAD file. Okay, this particular point in the PDF is the same as this endpoint in the CAD file. I'm going to pull an opposing corner. This corner is the same as this corner. Everything looks okay. I right click and accept. For housekeeping, I'm going to turn some layers off that I don't need. I don't need these finish contours. I don't need the curb. Okay. All right. And then we're going to use the tools available to extract the water line. Now again, to keep organized, I want to put the water line on its own layer, PR-UTIL-water. Okay, and then I'm going to use the trace function. I could just come in and draw a string, but I'm going to use the trace functions available. Okay, there's no vector data there, so I'll accept that. I can always modify this, so I can take this line that we've drawn and use the grip to modify that where it needs to go. The same thing with this corner. Okay, the vector data wasn't all there, so I can use the shift key and modify that closer into space. Okay, so that particular water line is done. That's the only one I'm going to focus on. So I can turn my image off. I'll also turn the contours off. I don't need these. The buildings I'll leave on, they're not hurting anything. In the takeoff menu, where I'm going to start is in my template library. Okay, I have a global library, so any templates that are in the global library can simply be transferred to my project. Okay, so now in my project, my water template is there. I have a trench width of 2 feet. We're going to assume a minimum depth at 4 feet and a cut slope or a bench. Now this one already has the 8-inch water offset, 0.33 feet from the bottom, and a 4-foot backfill material. Then I'll come in and create the trench. So this is Waterline-01. The reference surface will be the finished grade. I don't have a horizontal alignment, so I want to create it from the string. This line isn't a string yet. So I need to convert it to a string. So I'll go back to this, waterline -01, reference surface is finished grade, create from string, waterline 01. Okay, if I have a vertical alignment, so if I've already keyed in the profile data, I could assign that to this, but I don't. I simply have a 4-foot depth that we want to maintain. We're going to go to our project and grab that water template, and then we'll tell it to create the DTM. Okay, now we get a little preview. I can see the profile of the pipe as well as the cross sections. I can step through these cross sections and see what it looks like. Okay, step by step. I can also come in and change some of this. I don't need it to follow all of these curve transitions, but it did exactly what I told it to do, which was simply come down 4 feet off of that surface. Okay, so what I can do with these is take segment number 3, for example, delete it. And keep making changes to this until I have cleaned this profile up the way I want. Once the profile is cleaned the way I want that to be, I can close the profile and cross-section views, and I can see my trench surface created. Now I can come in and do a quantity report for the waterline. I can report the volumes in a range and include the average end areas for each section along the cross section. I just want the overall volume. So it tells me I have 40 cubic yards of material, 143.6 linear feet of pipe. If I needed to make a change to this, I can always go back to create edit template, grab the waterline, and make changes either to the template or the profile. Here I can get a depth report. 100% of my trench is in 0 to 16 feet. I don't want it reported that way. I need a little bit more information, so I'm going to specify the zones for this. Anything between 1 and 4 feet is good. Anything over 4 feet is not good. And we'll shrink that down a little bit. Maybe we'll go 4 to 5 feet, and then 5 to 6 feet. And then anything over 6 feet is really bad. Okay, so number 1, I can see, let's move the labels out of the way. So I can see I've got green and purple. So most of this pipe is 0 to 4 feet. Some of it is 4 to 5 feet, but none of it is over 5 feet in depth. So if I were to come to the depth report now for the water line, now we see a little bit more details. 57.2% or 82 feet of my pipe is 0 to 4 feet. 42% or 61 feet is between 4 and 5 feet. Okay, I could get a little bit more detailed plot for waterline. Set the scale to 10 and 1, and I'm just going to use default settings for this just because I want a view of my plot. So here's existing ground, here's what the water line looks like, and here is a quick plot of where things are happening. Okay, that did create a surface again, so view, surface viewer. Here is my water line. This is exaggerated at 3 to 1, but there is the surface for my water line trench. Now this is another of different options that you have for doing trenches inside of Magnet Office, and it's not only about creating the surface, it's about getting other useful information, the depth zones, the quantities, the pipe quantities, the earthwork quantities, and getting other details that provide me with good information before I go out and start actually building this site. For more examples of other workflows, or for more details on this workflow, log into your MyTopCon Now account to view content available for Magnet users today.